There's an amazing passage. I mean, hey, it's the Bible. It's full of amazing passages, like seriously great stuff. If it was a plot in a movie today, they'd never come up with some of this stuff. But here's an interesting little passage about Elisha, a prophet in the Old Testament. And it says this, and I'm in 2 Kings 13, it says, and Elisha died and was buried. That's a good thing to do, if you're dead. And it says, now Moabite raiders used to come every spring. And once while the Israelites were burying a man, suddenly they saw a band of raiders. So they threw the man's body into Elisha's tomb. And when the body touched Elisha's bones, get this, the man came back to life and stood up on his feet. You know, we could say a lot about that, but I want to get to another point. How come Elisha has enough juice in his dead bones to raise the dead? Like, how come there's enough anointing left in this man so that when a dead body hits him, boing, springs back to life? Oh, so I looked at this and I'm thinking, what happened there? Because we're supposed to deposit and pass things on before we go. We're supposed to pass on the anointing and impart to others and all this kind of stuff. And yet here's Elisha, he took it all to the grave with him. So as I look back, I thought, now Gehazi was the guy who should have inherited this, but the Gehazi had disqualified himself because earlier on, a couple of chapters previously, Gehazi was with Elisha when Naaman came to get healed of leprosy, and Naaman wanted to give Elisha all these prezzies and gold and silver and nice clothes, and Elisha says, yeah, thanks but no thanks, now's not a good time. But Gehazi gets a bit jealous and he's covetous of this. So when Naaman takes off to go home, without Elisha knowing it, Gehazi goes after Naaman and says, oh, my master's changed his mind. He'd like a bit of gold and silver and a few clothes, you know. So, of course, Naaman's so happy to have been healed of leprosy, he gives him loads of stuff. Gehazi goes back and hides it in his house. Then he goes over to Elisha's place. And so Elisha says, so, mate, like, where you been lately? And Gehazi says, oh, just doing this and that, nothing really. And the prophet Elisha says, did not my spirit go with you when you chased after Naaman to get his goods? And here's the thing. So you got what he had. And now you can also have his leprosy. Because you're no good to me if you're more interested in money, self-promotion, and whatever else than what you are interested in being aligned and walking in the ways of the Lord. So, here's the trick. This guy, Gehazi, he actually dies as a leper. Not a good look for someone. But then, when it comes time for Elisha to pass on what he had, he's looking around, and the one who was to have received it is unable to carry the anointing of God. And so he just takes it all to the grave with him. How sad is that story? That's a really sad story. Look, you just need to know that there are times when you've got to leave the cash and carry alone. You know, you've just got to leave some stuff alone for the sake of getting the higher good and inheriting something that far outweighs the gold and the silver and the nice set of clothes. So that's a message for someone here today. Choose to walk in God's way rather than get the stuff, because when you get the stuff, you might also get something you didn't want.